Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? Oh, went right into it. There we go. I kind of want to try, before we get started on stuff, I had hooked up feature chat on a previous stream, but it just didn't work last time. So, is it now? I wonder if I don't have it on this view. Possible. Hey Alex, how's it going? Yeah, I got I think Ben Hong ended up convincing me to try out Obsidian. I was watching his Obsidian office hours, and that was a few months ago now, something like that. Um, so I've been kind of digging into the more advanced stuff over the past month or so and playing around with things. Last time we looked at what we could do with the Dataview and tasks. I do need to work with my shortcuts a little bit, but this is a Dataview JS code block that we wrote on stream last time. And it gives us a list of tasks grouped by the folder, I guess. Yep, by the folder. Which is, I don't do too much management via folders. But I do kind of separate out things that have effectively moved from a note into more of an article and something that I want to post on my website. Brain is just the Zettelcast and everything goes there, place, and then projects. So just a little bit of breaking it up, and then I was looking at doing tasks as where a markdown file itself can be considered a task, as opposed to just the checklists within. That way I can kind of give it more context. So I'm kind of curious with this Obsidian charts though, because it's got this chart JS, which you can also hook up with the Dataview. So I don't know if I would get too much value out of charts specifically, but I kind of wonder what we could do with it with go over to the views so you can look at what I'm seeing here. It's got an API that hooks into Dataview, which I think is kind of interesting. Actually, let's see if this works now. Oh, is it cut off? The layering is bad. Ooh. Bar and chat. There we go. I think it broke last time because I got logged out. Despite me logging it in the doc. I maybe had to log in on the actual website itself again too. But it's kind of cool to be able to, there we go, highlight specific messages. Cool. So yes, let's kind of dive into this. I do not have it installed, so we got to do that first. Community plugins, chart. Assuming you can just install it via that. It's called Obsidian chart. Obsid. Oh, wrong place. I was looking at my installed ones. Okay, so there's. Okay, this is the one that we want. I'm gonna just hit 3.0 with a couple of nice things in it. I think I screenshotted the. Fortunately, the release notes are literally in the Obsidian Discord, which I. Is what it is, I guess. But I ended up screenshotting it just so I could come back to it easy, and dropping it in this my tweet. So we can generate a chart from a markdown table and an API to be used with Dataview, which I think is the interesting things. Customizable colors. And these were actually GIFs too. There were some pretty nifty GIFs. So let's pop this here, move this here. And install. Enable, please. So now we should have Obsidian charts. Oop. Let's check out the settings page. We have some, you can choose the colors, which is kind of nifty. How to use. So you can create a chart, you can create an image from a chart block, it looks like. That's kind of cool. I don't know that I would really, I mean, maybe I would use it. There's the creating charts off of markdown tables. That could be a potential use case where I would want to share that table with a chart. I don't know that there's too much else in here. So it looks like we have a button in the context menu. I don't see a button. I kind of want to see what I can do with it in regards to tasks. So we're gonna do task list. We're gonna start a new code block and see what we can come up with. And we're gonna open it on the side here in preview so we can see updates. And let's try their default, or their example, I guess. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. That's cool that it's interactive. I can dig that. Yeah. So we've got the type. Donut and pie chart. Oh, that's kind of the like nested donut thing is kind of nifty. Wow. So this is just the general, like I don't know how. I don't know how I would find value out of using this API directly, because you would have to type all of these in. So unless if I'm writing something that I want to make a chart and include that chart in an article or something, then maybe. But then at that point, you're kind of making a picture out of it and you lose the interactivity, which is unfortunate. And that's, I guess, part of the reason that I've yet to try this. Because I didn't feel like I could really use this. But this is interesting. So like, what's this? So that's some, I don't remember what they call it. It's not really front matter, but context, I guess. Dataview.js. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's interesting. Window.render chart. So I was actually rendering it in this. So we could do something like, we can build up a chart data object in which it then renders something from there. So like in our task list, we do I mean, I guess we kind of want map. Zeros map. Okay. So this so from here we can do something like log out the actual data. We're gonna have to play around a little bit with, so we can see it here. We're gonna have to play around a little bit with the actual output from Dataview. But once we do that, we should be able to just pipe it in directly. And the modification that we're likely gonna have to make is this dv.table. That's the thing doing the actual rendering. So we're gonna have to do something like a return here. Const. Yeah, see data, dv.current. So that gives you back the, I guess we can actually just do that. So here we're mapping over and we are going to, let's get rid of those because that's going to be unclear. We don't need the header. Well, what we're actually gonna end up doing is returning an object, which is gonna be something like header. I guess it's more group. So header. This is really the group. And then this is the data, I guess. So that closes that, that closes that. Can we organize this better? Oh, I think it'll let us do this. I mean, as far as JavaScript goes, that's valid. But I don't know what kind of validation it does. And I wish I could adjust the wrapping, but I don't know that there's too much we can do. Like it's just wrapping that. Map. Yeah, see, some of those wraps real weird, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it is what it is, I guess. But we don't really need this per se. Well, we don't want. I guess that's just text. It's fine, I guess. Okay, so data, we're doing a return. We're missing a close somewhere. It looks like our this seems to be closed fine. We've got that closed. That closes that. That closes that. That closes the map. Okay. We're still getting logging. Oh, I bet you it's here. I don't know if I can actually comment stuff out in here. We'll find out. I'm not quite sure where that's coming from. We have a console log somewhere around here. I guess the easy way to do it would be, we don't actually need this to run right now. So I'm going to make it not a code block. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like it was still running. So if I do console.log data, do we get anything? I'm getting like the G. Group by. So this should be returning a array of objects, but it's seems to be returning multiple times. I wonder if this group by has got something to do with it. Um, do we need the group right now? I don't know. Don't know that we. I mean, I guess I kind of want it in there. Definitely doesn't seem to respect comments though. Guess this would be the double check. Data is not defined. Yeah. Like you should be rendering this. Const data equals oop. Come on, P. So comments don't work. Good to know. Oh, they do work. They do work, but part of the parsing it doesn't. That's interesting. So if we just did something like this, okay, so we're getting, so the error is in there. We are getting for data, toss it in there for right now. We are getting something that doesn't error there. That's weird. Like it triggers multiple times. Which is odd to me. Like, why is it doing it? So there's the tasks. We don't have anything anywhere else. I mean, these are all commented out. Well, they're not actually code box, so those aren't running. So the only thing that could be running is this. So the data that we're getting is an array of tasks. Even though we've got the pages there. Yeah. See, look at that. That Does it something to do with this? Does it really not like that? I thought it kind of seemed like it didn't before last time. Yeah, see, it like runs it multiple times. Really weird. So this gives us a query. Let's just Uh, it's not quite clear to me what. So in my log, I do boop. Boop is only showing up some of the time. Where are all those other ones coming from? Is this just outputting stuff to help you out? That's really odd to me. I don't think I've got anything else that could be possibly spitting that data out. Unless it's the chart. No, it's not the chart. The table? Is it doing some weird caching thing? Hopefully you can't hear that. Garbage truck seems to be making lots of noise. I wonder if it's running this on multiple. Like, is it doing it on a cached thing or something? Don't really have anything else that I could possibly be running. See, like, if I look at this code, that's old. It's running this stuff. Just to be certain. Interesting. So it looked like it was still actually running that, even though it was not technically part of the code block, or not an actual code block. Which is interesting. Yeah. Weird. Okay. That makes a lot more sense now. Weird. I would not have expected that. Okay. This is an array. We need to we need this data in JavaScript format, I'm pretty certain. Like it says that's the, I mean, I think it's using the, it's using the Dataview JS render engine. Standard chart.js data payload. So we're gonna have to open up Obsidian Dataview. We are going to need to let's make that just a little bit bigger for anybody watching. We need to take an array in this proxy. Proxy is like the Dataview how it's handling the array. So we need to run like a convert to a JavaScript array. No, that's not quite what I want. Is it in data arrays? Yeah. So a normal JavaScript array into a Dataview array. You want to convert a data array back to a normal array. Interesting. Oh. Unexpected. Did I type something in accidentally? The header, key, rows, close, close, closed, array, map. Oh. Return that. Close the map. Oh, there we go. Okay. So this should be. This feels funny. That I don't feel like that's actually correct. dv.data array. If you want to convert a data array back to a normal array, use data array. Oh. I wonder if they mean dot array. There we go. That is really unclear. But we made it. We worked through it. And dot array. Yep. Fingers that are typing everything all over the place today. So I think this will, it's still giving us a proxy on that data. G roles map. Oh, it has to be in the, that, I believe. There we go. So we have some data here. I think it does some swizzling, so we could probably do something like data.group. Data sets. I don't know the difference between these. Let's look. Do we want a chart, or do we want a bar chart? That's the first question, or do we want something else? I kind of want to see the. Like, I'm wondering if something like a radar chart might make sense, because if we want to see the number of tasks. We want to each of these could be groups. What would be the color? Like, we have a group. I suppose it's sort of a. Ooh, I went into the wrong one. Let's clear that so I don't grab the wrong thing accidentally again. We want. We've got the group is sort of the one axis. Then within there we've got multiple tasks, so we could do like a count. So maybe a radar chart would be great. Polar area. I mean, it's kind of like a nested count. So, like here we've got title 1. We might need to put some fake data in here and then get at 0, tension. That's kind of cool. Legends, line charts. So maybe we stick with the line chart for right now. Because we've got like overall groups. Each group could be a line. No, I mean, I guess each probably makes sense to do a bar chart, because I keep switching here. If we do a bar chart, every value on the X could be a group. Then we don't have any series that like maps across. That's what's kind of awkward about this, I think, because like here we've got basically two series. We've got the blue and the red, but they're very separate. The group is just a list of tasks with checklists, with or without checklists. I'm tempted to say we want something like this, but I'm having trouble imagining what that'll look like. Monday. The polar area could be. I mean, this could work. So like red would be, each color would be a group. the more of a pie that it takes up is the number of like top level, and then the number of total tasks within there would be that. So it's wide versus long. I like that. We're going to play around with that a little bit. Well, we're gonna have to convert this. We'll do a polar area. We are going to do our labels are going to be data group. Can't tell if that's working or not. Could be. So here we've got series. I think this is going to be the hard part, is converting. So this expects a labels and a data. And there's like nested data. So we need to figure out like what is going to be, like they just give this top level DSL. We need to figure out what it is going to look like when you're doing this. Okay. Standard chart.js payload. So we can probably look here. If it's using this directly, we can do a polar area chart. Polar area chart expects styling interactions, config default data structure. So we need a labels and a data sets. Data sets need to contain an array of data points. The data point should be a number, and it will total all the numbers and calculate the relative proportion of each. So those must match up with those. So if we go off of data.group.key, data so it should be swizzling this, I believe, but it's not. Is that only? That's only within their, before we convert to this array. So we have converted to array. We are now in normal JavaScript land and not using their proxy objects. So I don't think we can use the swizzling, which is fine. It just means that we're gonna have to do, we'll likely have to do some like reducing. In which case we might actually want to say, so data.group.array. Cannot read property parse of undefined. Oh boy. Oh boy. Got stuff. Red, yellow, blue. Labels. Hey, okay, we're getting stuff. Projects is 30, 20, 10. Enter. Oh, okay. Third. Okay. So we're gonna keep it there so we can swizzle. And we're just gonna have to call array anytime we want a return. But that'll save us from having to do a bunch of reduces. Header. I suppose I don't really need anything to do with the header. I could instead return an object, so we have a group and then we have data. That probably would make more sense in this case. Because I can't really do anything with a header. So we are going to return file, description, tasks. And we're going to get rid of that. So this should give us group with data. Data is going to be an array. There you go. Description, tasks, task count. So b.file.tasks is an array. Dot array dot length. b.file. I need more to work with here. That array is not a function. Okay. Task count 2. Okay. So now we can do for our data. We want the data is going to match up with each of these. So we're going to do data dot. That's kind of funky. Call this group data just to keep it separate. And data is going to be data dot group data. Dot task count. Dot array. And that should give us a JavaScript array. Look at that. Okay. Ooh, undefined. Data. Oh, no. Data's group array. Oh, we got the labels there. So, I mean, this feels correct. I wonder why the colors aren't showing up. Kind of nice, though. I dig it. I mean, some of this is likely a dark mode thing. So labels. Blue, red, yellow, and green. So data gets labels and data sets. I mean, we're giving it labels, and I think it's putting this up here. It's clearly getting those, but for some reason it's undefined when it gets there. I don't feel like I should be specifying a background color, but that's interesting. Do you have to? Like, I just want to use the colors that you gave me. Border color, border width. Yeah, like, I mean, I don't just... We set default colors, right? Just use those. We'll have to come back to that, though, I think. And like, the radar thing, too. Yeah, that's better. Border color. I mean, I'm fine with that. So I guess why is that undefined? That's probably the last bit. I wish there was... I feel like I'm missing some way to get the defaults. Colors, but I mean, that's not that big of a deal. Like, if I have to have that in here, I'm going to be making just a few of these charts. Not the end of the world. We do get a little bit of a hover effect. It does change slightly. Labels. So you need to specify an array of labels so that tooltips appear correctly for each slice. And that's within the data object. So like if I just did yeah, that's just straight up undefined. I wonder if that's just an error. I don't need it here, do I? Labels. Still undefined. I really want to like, I've got stuff on my clipboard now. I don't want to lose it. So that's that's labels. And then for data, group 1, group 2, just so it's not. There we go. Okay. That looks hilarious, but and those aren't undefined. What? This doesn't do anything. So if I do data dot group dot array, what am I getting? Getting an array. So why is that undefined? Now it's not undefined. What? That's undefined though. $13. So I wonder if that's why. Yeah, okay. They're undefined because I'm specifying too many of them. I got you. Okay. So my array is too big. I'm not returning a valid array. So my task count is for each row we're getting a task count. Oh, I see. That's the swizzling stuff. I'm not a big fan of the swizzling because of this. Like it isn't obvious that it's doing that. So within a group, we want to do the group data should return. That's for each. I want to do. Hey, thanks for the follow. How are you doing? For the I guess I kind of do a top level. So group task count. And I mean, I can basically swizzle it. There. And now what I'm doing is group data. I want group task count. Oh. Surprised I didn't get an error there. That. Group data map. Return dot array group task count. Oop, too big, too big. I guess I'll just go like this. I don't have a good way to like maximize it across these 3 panes. B is not defined. Oh, because I'm mapping over. Okay. So g.rows.file.task.length. There we go. So now this can become group task count. There we go. So within my tasks, if I would go and make this valid again, we don't want these running. Okay, so if I look at my tasks, yeah, I've got about 25 there. But we don't want task length is greater than 0 in that. Dot where t I feel like I've got a task thing in here somewhere. Group by where tasks.length. Help me out, snippets. Here, where I knew I had something. Dot length. Okay, 5. That seems much more reasonable. I'm gonna have to work on those labels too. Because they're not showing up over. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Okay. So I don't need this anymore. I don't need this anymore. I've basically pulled this in already. Because that is out of data group return. It's basically out of this that I had chopped up, but I don't need it anymore because I've got it in there. So I can do that. So now we've got a chart. We've got a chart that shows all my tasks in those groups. So I can click these and I can look at specific. I mean, it's kind of odd that doesn't actually add up. Oh. What's going on with covector? Oh, it's got nothing. Got no task to do in there, which is not true, but. So we've got no checklist items within there, which is fine. I'll have to think a little bit about how. Ooh, sorry, bumping the mic. I'll have to think a little bit about that. Got a mess. So the idea is that we've got checklists. Those can be anywhere, and we've got like top level tasks, and that is straight away a markdown file that could also contain checklist items. It doesn't have to. So So like here we're doing a count and we're counting the number of checklist items. That's not quite true per se, because I mean, I guess. I guess I kind of want to do just see the like checklist items, because as I'm working through stuff, I need to break it down into smaller tasks. And that's either going to be little tasks that are sprinkled between like meeting notes and that kind of stuff that might eventually end up getting pulled over. I just saw you said fine. Linux Poveo TV. It didn't show up on my future chat though. See? Weird. That's very weird. Is this like timeout? Did I just have a chat paused? Huh, I think somehow I added the chat paused. How do I... Oh, show single word. Okay, that was it. Boop, boop. I was testing it before. It had filtered out fine, because it was just a single word. Okay, so we've got, what time are we working with? Maybe a couple more minutes. We want to do, I think we got it as far as our data goes. I think this is fine. I do feel like I want to do, potentially add another facet to this, but that is not going to happen today. I think that will end up, so like we almost want to have three axes. Groups would be this. And I guess my data sets could be the quantity of markdown files where these are showing up. So it'll show like sort of like fractured versus concentrated. So it'll be like markdown files where there are, or where we would consider it a task, or we would have checklist items. I could see that. That would be pretty decent. I do like that actually, the more I think about it. Okay. But we're not going to be able to get that done today. So let's just see if we can fix. I guess it shows it behind it there too. Clip. What clip? How to clip relative to chart area. I'm not sure what's clipping there. Background color, hover, border width. I guess that's. Let's try this clip. Try the clip, see what that looks like. I think that might be kind of what I'm thinking. Clip. Positive values allow overflow. So Like I've got data sets. Does that mean I need to do a clip one? I don't know what this does. You got me. Could very well be that I'm not putting it in the right spot. So we've got, I think I do need it in the data set, which feels awkward. It is chugging. Still don't see what it's doing though. 50. Yeah, I don't know. How to clip relative to chart area. Positive values allow overflow. Negative values clip. I don't know. I don't know if that's really doing anything that I'm specifically interested in. Is there anything else we could do? Background color. Background colors, the fills. Border align, border color, border width. Hover, color width. Border alignment. I don't know that I can actually change any of the color background or anything like that. Which is, if we go back to that announcement. Oh, they don't have. Can I pull it up on can I pull it up in their Obsidian chat real quick? Doing it on the side here. Yeah, so it's kind of just gonna be dependent on the mode, I think. Okay, so from a markdown table or from that. That's kind of cool. So what you're doing here is you're actually taking data from a markdown table and straight up converting it into their DSL. Which works. I don't know how much they'll use that though. I think I'm pretty much only going to use it this way. So I don't know that I need to do too much more with this. It looks like I can adjust. It would be nice if I could have some of these labels in front, and if I don't even know if you'd be able to see this on this stream, but like these are rings. You really can't see. And if you don't give it enough colors, we run into this situation where we've got two reds. So like if I do, I mean, I have to give it colors. So this might be something that we just want to keep an eye on. Hopefully they will improve the integration a little bit. It's different enough then. But this gives a little bit of a representation. I think we end up converting this to a radar, and then this label issues will sort of go away because it's lines with transparency. But it's kind of cool. So to give a summary of what we ended up doing, we use a Dataview.js code block still. Using Dataview, we query data effectively. We are keeping it in the proxy object Dataview, so we can use their swizzling. So this is actually an array, data is an array, but we want the key data.group. This will swizzle and give us an array, a JavaScript array of strings. But there are places where we just straight up in tasks we're calling .array because I just want the JavaScript array in this piece. So we do some swizzling, as I call it, and we hand off that data into the chart. Chart returns an object that we use the window.render chart, which is I wonder if that's a, I don't know if that, I gotta assume that's an Obsidian charts API. So we hand it the container, which is this block. So effectively, when you render it and replace this block with this thing, and chart data is this object that we've built up. So now we've got a chart and we've got a task list. Still can't click the checkboxes, which is a little bit annoying, but not the end of the world. I should probably hide those too. What am I working with? Okay, we can do that real quick. That will not be too difficult because I can copy this. Maybe it will. Beta file.tasks. Where is not a function? Interesting. Is that just an array at that point? That must just be an array. We would actually have to do like a reduce or something on there, I think. Well, next time. Yeah, so we've got a list of tasks and a nice little chart up at the top. We'll switch that to radar, either on screen, stream or off stream. I don't know, we'll see. And that'll kind of give us an overview of how our tasks are kind of made up compared to the different projects that I'm, or different areas of interest that I'm thinking about. And this is going to be a good way to like kind of tackle and chop down and see the things that I want to address. Like here, nothing that I need to do here. But within the radar, it's going to show up. So I think we did everything that we were shooting to do today. Does anybody have any questions? Hello, welcome. We're just finishing up for today. We have Is this just a general JavaScript question? Okay. We'll take a quick minute. It is looping through an array. I'm guessing this is probably React. List.children is likely elements rendered within a component. And it's adding the .onClick method, giving it a function called remove item. So when you click on any of these children that's rendered within this list, it is going to run the function remove item, which I'm presuming will remove it from that list. Does that make sense? Over to here. Hopefully that helps. But I need to get going. Hopefully that helped out. I think we did everything we were kind of hoping to hit on today. We'll probably keep the chat around. I don't know that I'm going to dive into it too much more. You're welcome. I don't know that it's going to be super valuable where we'll put these charts everywhere, but maybe one or two on our dashboards that we've been putting together might be helpful. But fun to dig into it, see if it's worthwhile. Thank you for anybody that stopped by or is lurking. We will be here again next week, same time. Have a good weekend.